Hey guys, welcome back to WP Event Manager. And in this video, we're going to talk about a fundamental shortcut that's been used in our WP Event Manager called events. So why events is so important and why we want to talk about it. For that, let's visit the front end side and we're going to go to the events listing page over here. And you see this layout over here, all the events that's being displayed and all. These all are coming from one single shortcut. Okay, so if we click on edit page in a new tab, you will see this page, all it has is a one single shortcut called events. So that's how important it is and that's how functional it is. It displays an entire suite of event listing like features using one single shortcut. So this event shortcut does have a lot of attributes that we can play with and customize our event listings page. So if you want to create your custom event listing page, you can design a page and then paste the shortcode. The entire layout you see over here will be exactly replicated into that page as well. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the event listing shortcode attributes, but not demonstrate them in this video. Instead, I'm going to explain them to you one by one, but we will have like detailed video about each attributes and their demonstration. All right, so for that, let's open our knowledge base. Okay, so we can go one by one by the knowledge base and you will have like a better idea about what I'm talking about. So you can find the knowledge base link at our footer section. So over here, we're going to search for the event listing. All right, and the first link will appear over here. We're going to click on that. And the shortcode I have just talked about, events, that you can see over here. And I'm not going to make any changes to event shortcode as of now. That's a topic for another video. Instead, the event shortcode attributes, that I'm gonna explain it to you. So by default, you know what event listing page looks like. With filters, if you installed event tags add-on, they will appear over here. Calendar, that will appear here too. And we can change the layout from here and we can load more events over here as well. So like a fully featured event listing page coming from a single shortcut. Okay, so let's talk about the attributes for now. Okay, otherwise the video gonna get pretty long and pretty boring as well. Per page, first attribute. So the per page attribute limits how many events we want to show over here in a single page. Okay, so let's say if we set it to 3, it will only show 3 events over here. After that, we will have this load more events button over there. So not all these events, we will have only 3, then the load more button. So this helps to speed up event loading, initial website load. So that's per page. It's like limiting per page event listing. Okay, then we have order by. So this is like a sorting mechanism, how we can sort the event listing over here using like these values over here, such as title, ID, name, modified, parent, random, event start date, and featured. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory. One of the values will be acceptable by order by. Then it will sort events either via title or ID or name or modified or the parent event or totally random or event start date or featured events. All right, so current default sorting mechanism is event start date, of course, as you can see over here in ascending order. So order, and then we have order. So current sorting mechanism is indeed event start date over here, as you can see in a ascending matter. Okay, so order value, it expects an ascending or descending parameter. Okay, so it can be either ASC or DESC followed by ascending or descending. Okay, so what happens when you set an order attributes? All right, so it can be the name or modified. You can set order to ascending or descending. Okay, you get the idea over here. Pretty simple and self-explanatory as well. Then we have show filters. So the show filters parameter over here, it expects a boolean value, either true or false, that will allow you to hide the filters section over here completely. Okay, pretty handy and useful attribute. Then we have show categories. That's for showing the category section over here. Same with the show event types. So that's this value over here or this filter. And then we have show tags. So we do not have event tags add-on installed. If you had, the event tags values will appear over here, like right below here. So you can use the event tags parameter, either set to true or false, to control the visibility of event tags in this event listing page. right? So show ticket prices. So this will allow you to hide ticket prices like paid over here, you see, in this listing page over here. Okay, so this like expects and boolean value as well. If it sets to true, then it will show the paid and all over here, otherwise it will hide them. So category multi-select. So by default, it's false. You can select only one category at once when you filtering the events on an event listing page. So if you set show category multi-select to true, it will let you select multiple category in this event listing page. All right. Then we have event page type multi-select. Same principle, but for the event types. All right. If set to true, you can select multiple types, otherwise one at a time. So pagination, so it sets defaults to false. Calls, we have this little load more events button. It looks more modern. Otherwise, you will have a pagination instead of this Ajax loaded events. All right. So we're gonna show you all the demonstration for the event attributes as well in the upcoming video. This is just an explanation. All right. So show more. This controls this button over here. Okay. So if you using show pagination, you don't want to use show more. And if you are not using pagination, then you want to use show more. So it works in a vice versa way. Featured. So if you use featured tag, it expects boolean value as well. So if you set featured to true, the event listing page over here will only show featured events in this listing page. Otherwise, if you set it to false, it will show non-featured events on this event listing page. Okay. If you do not set featured, it will show all the events in this event listing page. Okay, clear? Cancelled, same principle. If you set cancelled to true, it will show only the cancelled events in the website. Otherwise, it will show only non-cancelled events or like active events in this event listing page over here. Okay. So let's talk about location. Okay. So location like let you pre-fill on location value in the event listing page. Let's say you want to create a page where you want to show events from a certain location only. Okay. So there you can use the location attribute to limit like the event listings over here within that location only. So like pre-filtering. Okay. Then we have keywords, same principle, but with the keyword. So if you type in keyword over here and type in a value, that will automatically like pre-search or like pre-filter your event listing over here according to that keyword. And then we have selected date time. Again, same principle. So it will take like a time frame and it will only show the events happening within that time frame. We will have a detailed video about this as well. Stay tuned for that. So the location, keywords, and selected date time are for pre-filtering. All right. So what is selected event type and event type? I'm gonna explain it in one go. Let's say we use one parameter with the selected event type. Okay. So that what that will do. So let's say if you filtered your events over here using a event type, the events over here will get filtered according to that event type only. Okay, that's like pretty normal, but the event type over here is vice versa. Okay, so if you use the event types attribute and set it to like one event type, if you select one event type from over here, then it will show all the events without that event type. Okay, so negative and positive value. Sure. Same principle with selected category and event category. So if you like pre-fill the selected category with a desired category, when you filter your events over here using a category, it will only show events with that category only. Okay. And if you pre-fill the shortcode with event categories and like fill out one category over here, and if you filter like your events using that category, it will only show and it will show all the events without that category. Okay, vice versa. And we have selected ticket price. So this will take like a range and you can sort out events like pre-sort out events over here within that price range. Then we have layout type. So layout type will expect like three kind of actually values: box, list, and calendar. That will be the default layout over here, as you can see, right? So it is grid right now. If you set it to list, it will look like this. And if you set it to grid, it will look like this. And when you install calendar, you can set it to calendar layout mode as well. All right. Then we have ticket prices. So this let you sort out, like pre-sort out your events in the listing page over here by like three values: either paid, free, or donation. Okay. Then we have event online. So whether you want to show only online event in this event listing page, you can do that as well. So event online expects only two values, either true or false. It will sort out, like if you set it to true, it will only show online events only in this listing page. Otherwise, it will show only the offline events over here. So a lot of customization options with the events shortcode, and that's all the attributes. And you will have like a lot of examples in this channel as well in upcoming days. Please stay tuned for those videos as well. This video been already long enough. I'm gonna end it over here. I hope this video gave you a little bit of in-depth like explanation about all the attributes. And if you're failing to understand anything and requires like a live demonstration, we will have that in the channel as well. So until next time, I'm Sharad saying goodbye. Stay safe and cheers.